Hello, I hope you're doing well, and this is the second episode of GeoGuessr Tips for Beginners, which is a series where I just go through the blanket guides of different countries and teach you how to recognize countries, not really region guessing. And yeah, second episode, the first one was North America, this one's gonna be South America, and I think I am gonna do some continents with 2 episodes, but I think South America does not have too many countries, so I can do this in one. And yeah, I have also fixed the OBS issue that I was having, so I can already film with OBS again, so it should look okay. And yeah, I'm probably even gonna do this unedited, I was thinking. Yeah, and yeah, when I do it unedited, that's gonna happen. So anyway, Colombia is the first thing that we are going to take a look at. Yeah, Colombia, a really well-known thing about Colombia is, of course, that they have yellow license plates, which in South America you can almost only find in Colombia, because they also do exist in Peru, but yeah, Colombia, you see pretty much only yellow license plates. In Colombia. Peru, you mostly see white ones. See some yellow ones and mostly white ones, then you're probably in Peru. But yeah, only yellow one pretty much should be Colombia. So yeah, also there's the flag. This is shape.co, not really commonly found, and obviously you can find .co like .co.uk or something like that in a lot of other countries as well, because it's not only used as the Colombia domain. And yeah, they drive on the right, and only really Colombia has Gen 2. To be honest, I did not know that, but okay. Mostly Gen 3 and Gen 4 though. So in Gen 3, it is short, thick antenna, which is called a stubby antenna. And yeah, let's just take a look at it. It will look like this. It's often even like shorter and thicker than on here. But yeah, in Gen 4 you can just find silver, white, well, really all these Gen 4 cars. But yeah, in Gen 3 you pretty much always will see the stubby antenna, but sometimes it's blurred like here. And yeah, also really well known one in the backs of signposts, well, signs. The back of signs you will see this cross and white metal signposts. Yeah, not really, signposts are not that important, but these crosses. You do see really similar ones in Mexico sometimes, and also sometimes in Brazil. But yeah, mostly Colombia. You pretty much always get it in Colombia. And yeah, there's PR. Kilometer markers are only in Colombia, I think, and yeah, these ones as well. If you see BR, that can also exist in Brazil. Yeah, these pole marking things, black and yellow, and I think this one is also regional. It's only in like 2 states or provinces or regions or whatever they're called in Colombia. I don't know this one. I think you find pretty much everywhere in the country, but I think this is regional. And yeah, these wooden fences that just look like this, they're kind of messy looking. They're not like too organized. And on that side, yeah, these, like, it's not really, doesn't look too beautiful, I would say. Colombian taxis, pastel yellow color, and this license plate printed on here for some reason, and you often see that on the side and also on the roof. Yeah, you see this license plates. These are quite often not blurred, and then you will see the city name often as well. And yeah, these poles, concrete poles mostly, and yeah, octagonal poles as well. And these reddish tiles, don't really know, I don't know how useful that is. And you also, actually, I'm not gonna talk about that. And also, let me see if I can take a short look at those islands that are also the Colombian islands. Where can I find those? Not here. It looks like... I will also, by the way, link the Plunkett website where I am looking at this stuff. Yeah, this is regional. I will also link them, the Plunkett website, in the video description. Okay, and yeah, these islands that are here in the Caribbean, you can see these weird cars that are, I think, completely unique to those, even though this can look somewhat similar, I would say, to the Ugandan car, but yeah, you can definitely see the difference if you take a look. Ecuador. In Ecuador, yeah, you can see quite a bit of different license plate designs. And also what I didn't mention is that in Colombia the license plates are often short, pretty much like in the US, or not like Europe. So this is kind of long, almost as long as Europe, but yeah, this is also standard short. I don't know about Ecuador license plate too much, so I don't think they're too useful. Maybe you can. Well, you can obviously use them just if you see a white license plate, then you're probably not in Colombia. All Gen 3 coverage is with the stubby antenna, and also the coils on this can look different in some regions, but that's not really what I'm going to talk about at the moment. And your white car as well. You can see the brake light often as well, so it looks like it could be kind of red, I would say. Yeah, all Gen 4 coverage is with this white pickup truck and no antenna as well. But yeah, that only exists in some places. So if you do see this, then you're probably... Let me just quickly show you. You're gonna be either around here. We are actually in Gen 4. In Quito, or this city, Guayaquil, I don't know how to pronounce that, but yeah, also this, or the road between those two cities. So I think if I click like here, then we should also, yeah, we do have some quite new Gen 4 coverage as well. And also this weird low quality camera, this is called the official ARRI, or, well, this crap cam, shit cam, poop cam, bad cam, and only exists in Ecuador in South America, but also does exist in quite a bit of countries in Asia, and also Finland, and also Nigeria, and maybe I missed some. Yeah, I did miss some, but yeah, anyway. Ecuador does have these bollards, which are quite common, and well, usually you can just remember those. There are two red reflectors, but sometimes you do see like one red reflector as well, I think. Don't really know anything about the poles, maybe it's useful, maybe it's not, so you can just take a look at that yourself. Concrete roads are quite common in Ecuador, but yeah, I wouldn't be so sure about calling it common. Well, relatively common, yeah. I think I agree. Double guardrails are quite common, yeah, I have noticed that, and quite a bit less common in other South American countries. Yeah, a lot of chevrons in road curves. These road signs, I didn't know that, to be honest, but that might be useful. And also these highway shields on the kilometer markers, and teal blue color on the back of signs. Did not know that as well, but yeah, maybe that's true. I guess it might be. Most houses are made of grey bricks and have metal roofs. Yeah, agree, I think. And hexagonal tiles, again, guess I'm gonna have to agree. Probably is true that, and also just gonna wait. Oh, I'm on Peru. No, that is so annoying. Spotlight, I think. And yeah, the Galapagos Islands are also trackers and boat coverage, so boat trackers. These islands here, we see quite cool coverage with this, no, just a turtle, I guess. And yeah, it looks quite cool. I would say, yeah, these trackers and boat coverage does exist as well. Peru. Yeah, Peru does have white and yellow license plates, but yellow is quite uncommon, but does exist. Gen 3 coverage, Peru does use black and white Google cars. So, actually I'm gonna go through the South American Google cars right now, because they are really, really useful in South America, I would say, in normal games, and well, sometimes even moving games, possibly, but if you are in a normal game and you don't know the country, then the car colors can really help. So yeah, Peru does use a black car and a white car, so both exist, but in South America, the black one exists in, I'm gonna try to just say it myself without looking. So Peru, Argentina, and Uruguay is the black car, and the white car is, well, also Peru, Bolivia, and Chile. Yeah, that is correct. So, really worth learning. It did take some time for me, just really couldn't get it memorized. Took a couple days, and then really useful thing. Gen 4 does exist in Peru, and yeah, Ecuador does have the truck coverage, and Bolivia does not have any Gen 3. Gen 4 does have Gen 3, it only has Gen 3, but yeah, if you are in Gen 3, I have really often just mixed up Bolivia and Peru. But in Gen 4, you cannot guess Bolivia, because it just does not exist. And yeah, single yellow dash or double yellow, yeah, just yellow road lines, and sometimes you do see white outer lines without any center line. Black and white striped signposts, really useful. Don't exist anywhere else in South America, really. Maybe sometimes you see it in other places, but that would be really, really rare. Yeah, bollards are quite common, but not too common. And yeah, just normally kinda the shape can be different, but yeah, yellow reflectors always. These black and yellow stripes on guardrails, quite useful, but yeah, they also do exist in Bolivia, but yeah. Anyway, Peru, I would say, is... What am I doing? Okay, counter markers are, yeah, not too useful, I would say. These concrete blocks, yeah, I guess it can be useful, but I don't know. Yeah, these poles, sometimes concrete poles, sometimes wooden poles, and sometimes, I think, maybe even metal poles exist. Maybe don't, I'm not sure. And the bridges in Peru are quite commonly painted orange, which is quite interesting, but I don't know how useful that is, because I think it does exist in some other countries as well. These bottom sections as well, yeah, well, a lot of mountains in Peru. There are some places that are quite flat, for example, actually, no, I'm gonna open it here, and let's just take a quick look. Like, somewhere around here, it can... Okay, maybe I was wrong about that. I mean, yeah, that doesn't... I don't think there's really any too flat areas here. Maybe like this is... yeah, this is quite flat here. Yeah. But also, if you are in a flat area in Peru, you're probably gonna be somewhere kind of around here, because pretty much this whole area is quite flat. Yeah. Let's take a look. Yeah, tuk-tuks called motor taxis in Peru. I mean, you can just call them tuk-tuks in every country if you wish so. Yeah, especially in major cities, but yeah, you can find them in Peru and not really in other South American countries. Yeah, white, red and white stickers, I guess. Yeah, these political party logos, a lot of them, you can learn them. I mean, not too useful. And yeah, a lot of kind of red brick buildings as well, but they are even more common in Bolivia. And mostly in Peru, you do see them near the Bolivian border and sometimes here, around here in the north as well. Bolivia. We did talk about Bolivia a bit already, but yeah, these, well, it's kind of white looking license plates. Yeah, I didn't mention these, but Peru is .pe, and I think you can see that sometimes. .po in Bolivia is not too common, and .ec I think is Ecuador. That you can also see quite often. This is the flag driving on the right, and only Gen 3 in Bolivia. Always white car, Gen 3. A lot of large red brick buildings. The red bricks are large, not the buildings. Well, the buildings are also often large. Anyway, they do often have kind of an unfinished look. Yeah, you can see yellow, white, pretty much all road lines. Sometimes these concrete roads, but not too common. I would say these cobblestone roads are quite common. So there are also a lot, yeah, there are a lot of them. Yeah, these kind of bulky white square signposts. Also, you can see similar ones in Uruguay, I would say. And yeah, these guardrail marking things as well. Utility poles, round concrete ones and wooden ones. So a bit similar to Peru, but maybe you can use them a bit. And yeah, these kind of weird wooden poles, don't really know about that too much. These road markers do look really similar to Argentinian ones, so I don't know what the difference is. I guess there is one. Don't really know anything about the clothing thing. Bolivia's, yeah, I don't know. What is this? Second official flag. So this is actually an official flag of Bolivia. Okay, yeah, this telecom company Tigo is, well, pretty much a lot of places. It does not operate in Peru. I did not know that, to be honest. And yeah, not sure about that. And coverage in Bolivia is not like in too many places, so well, you can take a look at that. And if you are in Bolivia and you do not want to learn region guessing yet, then just make sure that you do not click like above this line, kind of click around here maybe. Yeah. Let's do Brazil now. Why not? We have some piranha pines here on the picture. If you know, you know. Anyway, these license plates, you can just see just white ones. These ones that are the exact same as Argentinian ones as well. And commercial plates are red. So yeah, Portuguese, you can look at this. I do know how to kind of differentiate Portuguese, Spanish, but yeah, you can take a look at that. I won't be explaining too much. is useful to know, I'd say. Like this and this, you won't see this letter at all, and this combination of letters and this letter as well. Yeah, Brazil soil is pretty much always red, and these ladder poles, I mean, these are legendary. You can see them in Portugal, because yeah, Portuguese infrastructure a bit, but well, not too much, but for example the poles and the language as well and the chevrons. Yeah, blue road markers that kind of look like this, that it can be BR, but it can also have the state kind of abbreviation, 2 letters, so you can also use that to region guess without learning to region guess, which is quite a good thing. And yeah, road signs have their backs painted black pretty much always, but not always. Pretty much always. There is a difference. Yeah, white painted curbs did not, I mean, I guess I did know that, but I mean, I haven't really thought about that. I don't know how useful it is. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, double yellow lines are really common. You can get other ones as well, but quite a useful thing to know. I would say orange tiled roofs, yeah, agree. And these transparent satellite dishes in Latin America is pretty much unique to Brazil, which is as well, I would say, a useful thing. And these water tanks, I guess. Take a little bit of a look at car meta as well. This Gen 3 coverage also, stubby antenna. Can get that in Mexico. And yeah, then Colombia, Ecuador, Brazil. And is that all? I think it might, well, also like Cambodia and maybe some other countries in completely different side of the world. And also you can get the blue car, also the striped car that is white, blue, white, and also the white car. Let's take a look at Chile. This is the flag. You can't really see it because the country does have a really unique shape. .cl, you can see that a lot actually. Well, just if you did not know some of these things, this is the flag. Really, you can see that quite commonly. .br, that is quite common. You can see it a lot more than the country domain in some other South American countries. Driving on the right, just a bit of Gen 2, but not really. And yeah, Gen 3 is now also quite rare, but you can also see it, and mostly Gen 4. Chile. Yeah, .cl, you can also see that quite a bit. This driving on the right. Also, Gen 2 exists. Did not know that. Maybe that is true. I guess it must be. If it's written in the plugged guide. Okay, Gen 3 and Gen 4, mostly Gen 4, but you can see both. In Gen 3, this kind of car, the white but a bit of kind of black. Yeah, the road lines are mostly all white, but there are just some roads that are all yellow road lines. Yeah, these poles that kind of look similar to the Brazilian ones, but the Brazilian ones do have these kind of sections, but it only has this one section and then it's kind of whole things on top. Yeah, white license plates, pretty much just white license plates, but yeah, this can be maybe useful as well. Don't know this signpost thing, maybe, yeah, Spanish kind of bollards, but they're not too common, but if you see those, you can be pretty confident you are in Chile. This kind of orange temporary bollard, yeah, I guess. And red painted fence posts on bridges, yeah, I guess I could agree with that. Argentina. This flag .ar, not too common, but You can see it more than, for example, some other countries. In South America, driving on the right, as do I think all countries with coverage at least in South America. Yeah, no Gen 2, pretty much mostly Gen 4, but you can see Gen 3 in the south of the country. There is only Gen 3. Yeah, license plates, take a look at that a bit, because these license plates are the newer ones with the blue bar on top, which do exist pretty much the same ones in Brazil, but in older coverage, especially in older coverage, but also in newer coverage as well, actually, you can see this, that just through the blur looks like kind of a white license plate, but there is this kind of black dot thing. Black Google car in Gen 3 coverage only, but in Gen 4 you get these Gen 4 colors. They can be white, I think, they can be blue, and I think maybe even some other ones as well. This kind of pole and this kind of poles. Well, all of these kind of concrete poles that look quite big and scary, and they do exist in Argentina, but also kind of sometimes in other places. Well, these kind of, even North American, kind of US, Canadian looking poles like this do exist in Argentina as well. I, to be honest, have sometimes messed up and went to Saskatchewan on Argentina, or went Argentina on Saskatchewan, so yeah. White and red chevrons, road lines, pretty much everything. You can get pretty much everything there, and yeah, when you are kinda, yeah, that is actually not too useful. And I did talk about the kilometer markers for Peru, I think it was. Yeah, Peru, I think, does have similar ones, but yeah, this is mostly Argentina and Uruguay. Only Gen 3 at the moment, but I do think it is getting Gen 4 with truck coverage, I think, but at the moment you can only see Gen 3. This flag.uy, haven't really seen it ever. And driving on the right, this kind of just overcast weather, yeah, that is also useful, but it obviously does exist in other places as well, like the UK, for example, because you only have overcast weather there. Uruguayan license plates, yeah, also these ones, but I don't know how commonly you see one and how commonly you see the other. This black Google car, which unfortunately is the same as Argentina, which is the most similar country to Uruguay. You can really quite often just mix up Argentina and Uruguay. But these road lines, when in Argentina you would have just double yellow lines, then in Uruguay you would always have this kind of white lines, sometimes in the middle, which you will, I think, never get in Argentina. And yeah, this kind of thick white signpost, as well as I talked about in Bolivia, yeah, I think. These do also exist in Uruguay and are even more common, I would say. Probably already talked about that, and already talked about kind of road lines. And these bollards, yeah, one side is often painted yellow, which is useful. Trident poles, but yeah, do exist in Brazil as well. And yeah, poles, not gonna talk too much about poles because this is a beginner kind of guide, and I don't think beginners want to learn too much about poles because it can kind of get boring. Yeah, kilometer marker like this with a bit of green. Most of Latin America does use these chevrons, but Brazil does use yellow on black, but yeah, most all the countries do use this black on yellow, and Argentina does use the white and the red. And yeah, slightly hilly sometimes, but in some places it can be completely flat. In many parts of Uruguay you can find reddish soil. Yeah, I guess so. Made out of concrete, the houses quite often, and palm trees. Yeah, I guess. And yeah, not really anything useful, I would say here. And I mean, I can just take a quick look at Falkland Islands as well. Only tracker coverage there. Falkland Islands are actually a British overseas territory, even though Argentina would like to have to them. And I mean, not gonna really talk too much about that, but I mean, you can just give it to Argentina. Why not? It's much closer to Argentina, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, just if you're kind of a tracker and it kind of looks like this weird, I don't know, then maybe you are in Falkland Islands and South Georgia and Sandwich Islands. Pretty much the same thing, only tracker, and can look quite similar to that often. And I think that should be all for South America. Actually, yeah. In Brazil also there are islands around here, but they don't really ever show up on maps, I would say. So, I mean, if this video was helpful, then maybe just give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Would really be great. I think we have 25 subscribers now, which is not a lot, but I mean, you gotta start somewhere. So thank you for that. I mean, goodbye, I guess.